Well, Edward Scissorhands is based on the Tim Burton film of the same name. One of the great things about the film, and I think the thing that drew me to it, and Les Brotherston, the designer, was the two worlds that it inhabits, the sort of gothic horror film kind of world and the suburban world, the American suburbia. A very strange mix of things there, which I thought, would be very exciting on stage. My version is actually got quite a lot of differences from the film. The story begins with the death of a young boy by lightning while playing with scissors, whose father, in his grief, feels that he needs to replace his son, and being an inventor of sorts, he creates a boy, and he has scissors for hands. And this is something that we've developed ourselves. It's not a story that's told in the film. It's something I felt I wanted to know why Edward existed in the first place. And it's about Edward's journey into American suburbia and how people treat him and what he learns about them and what they learn about themselves through meeting him. The central relationship of the piece is with this character called Kim, who is the daughter of the family that takes him in. And of course, he can't connect with her in the way that many teenagers can't really with each other, and it's partly the hands are a metaphor for that as well, not being able to touch, not being able to connect.
You feel his sense of isolation as well, because with the hands on, they're foot-long blades, so you actually do feel it. You can't touch, you can't hold, you can't feel anything, so you feel very kind of cut off from the rest of the cast.
It just totally transforms you. From when we were rehearsing at first, and you didn't have that, it was quite hard to really relate to the character strongly.
And he's like the ultimate outsider character. It is a kind of satire, to a certain extent, of American life. But there is this moving story of someone who's different at the centre of it, and this moving love story as well. So it's capturing those two worlds emotionally as well as the visual look. Becomes an artist, really. He finds that he can create beautiful things, and one of those things is the ice sculpture we talked about. Another thing is topiary. And that's a really good example of taking something from the film and turning it into a dance highlight of the piece, and a theatrical sort of coup in a way. People really love that. They react to that in a big way because it's so unexpected. Of course, I saw the film in 1990 when it came out, and it seemed a very unique film. Tim Burton, obviously a genius of movie making and an artist. And also this wonderful score by Danny Elfman, again quite unique, very influential score. That's been used and copied many times since. I think affected me quite a lot. I felt it had a theatrical life that could be explored. This is a film that Tim Burton, Danny Elfman, the composer, and Caroline Thompson, who wrote the screenplay, it's something that they all feel very deeply about. It's a personal project. It's their favourite project. And if I'd asked for the rights to make a TV series of it or a theme park ride, it would have been a flat no. I think it was this particular form of dance theatre that he thought yes, I can see that working. It's so far from what I do. Well, the reaction to the show from day one has been amazing from the audiences.
It was really good. I thought it was absolutely stunning. I think Matthew Bourne's a genius.
Visually, brilliant.
I think it's really colourful, I think it's really visual.
Lots of movement, lots of drama.
It was just absolutely amazing, the music, the acting.
And wonderfully danced. Wonderfully done.
It's a very warm show. It's a very warm feeling that it creates between the stage and the audience, and people really respond to it.
I mean, it's amazing how he does recreate story in movements rather than relying on a script to do that.
Better than the actual film. We were just saying it's amazing how you don't need words to get something across.
Really extraordinary.
It's definitely worth seeing. I'd definitely recommend it.
I think it's the best thing I've ever seen, and I'm not joking. I cried. We both cried.
Shut up, sorry.
What I didn't quite expect was how much people really love the character.
I think everyone's got a bit of an Edward, haven't they? Feeling like an outsider.
However confident or successful or whatever you are, everyone has that feeling of isolation and vulnerability and a bit slightly insecureness, and I think everyone really warms to him because he's an outsider as well, and everyone kind of loves a nice outsider.
They love the character of Edward so much, and when he comes on at the end for a curtain call, the crowds go crazy, and it's partly the performer who's done a brilliant job, and it's partly the character itself as well. He's so touching, and you sort of want to hug him, you know.
And I think because the whole audience have really related to him and kind of gone through the journey which he went through, it was just amazing. And then seeing him stand at the end and the snow coming down, it made me realise what all the hard work we did was for.
Yeah, there's a bit of me and Edward. There's a bit of Edward in anyone who's been different at some point in their lives, particularly about growing up, I think, teenage years. I had interests that nobody else at school was interested in. You know, I was into movies, old movie stars. I was into musicals, I was into dancing, things I would never talk about at school. So, in a sense, that was my thing that was different about me. And I think everyone has that somewhere. Everyone's experienced that thing of wanting to do something that no one else around them or no one else in their community or at school wants to do or knows about. I remember those years, and I'm sure Tim Burton felt that as well when he first drew the character. You know, that's what he was saying. He was a character who couldn't connect with the people he was with, couldn't communicate, couldn't touch people. So yeah, there's a bit of me in him, I think, as there is all of us.